Hello and welcome back to another episode of Notion Bonsai, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can easily make your very own bonsai bench so you can display your beautiful trees. And now before we begin, I would just like to start off by saying that I am not a professional builder or carpenter, so there may be 100 better ways of doing this compared to what I am doing, but this is just the way that I came up with in my mind of building this thing. So the things that we will be using to build this project today are 21 cinder blocks and 6 planks of treated decking board. So these are the concrete cinder blocks that we're going to be using today, and I got these directly from the manufacturer of these. I think they came out to approximately £1.50 for each block, which I think was fairly cheap, and they actually gave me an extra block than I needed because some of them were a little bit crumbly around the edges. So I got 22 cinder blocks with a grand total of £32, and they are quite heavy. And these are the planks of wood. These are actually treated decking board, and these were a little bit on the pricey side. I got 6 sheets and each sheet was £11, so it came out to approximately £85 including tax, which I'm not complaining about. I think it's a good price for this specific type of wood because this wood is supposed to last about 25 years outdoors. And of course, if I treat this wood every year with some wood treatment, it should last even longer. So this span here across this wall is where I would like the bench to go. I would like to take it from the oil tank back this way, right up as far as these boxes. I don't want to take it past the boxes as things need to go up and down the steps in this direction. But the first thing I got to do is clear out all of these trees. These are all my trees in development, and then we can get building. Last month, all this ground here was leveled with a self-leveling compound because the ground before was really bumpy and uneven. The cinder block should go down really nicely. So my plan with the back shelf is to have 2 blocks sitting horizontally, and then on top of that, 2 blocks vertically to give me a pretty high shelf at the back. So I've got one at that side, I've got one at this side, and now to put one right in the middle for extra stability. And now the next shelf is going to sit a little bit more forward, so the shelves are going to be staggered, and it's probably going to sit to about this height. Feels like I'm building a house. So now we've got all of these stacked up on top of each other. The next thing to do is to add the planks of wood on top, but there's one small problem. All of the planks of wood are just a little bit too long. I'm going to need to cut them all to size. And now just to clean up this end where the wood snapped instead of cutting, I'm going to take the branch cutters that we use in bonsai and just cut this little excess off. Then if you wish to, you can go over the end with a little bit of sandpaper. I'm using 120 grit. just to soften that edge a little. So all 6 planks of this decking board is now cut to length, and we can begin putting it on top of the blocks and building the shelves. Now, if you have worked with decking board before, you will notice there is 2 different types of ridges on each side of the wood. There's one that has deeper grooves like this, and on the other side it's a lot more finer grooves and is a little bit smoother. I believe there is a correct way to lay decking when you're doing it for like a flooring, but for a shelf I have chosen this as the top side, as this is a lot more smoother for sitting trees on top of. So I'm going to flip this one around, and that's going to be, oh, that's a lot better. So the way that I'm doing it is going to be 3 planks here and 3 planks here. I am super happy with how this has turned out. It's definitely going to be able to hold lots and lots of trees, as this wood here is super strong. And also underneath this, I will be able to store trees in the winter to protect them from the frost. Yeah, okay, that's super strong. I have left a small little gap between each of the boards so that whenever I water the trees or when it rains, the water has a place to drain to out the bottom. That way we don't get flooding or root rot in the bottom of any of our pots. And now all that's left to do is get trees on this. So the first thing that I will put on these benches is my Japanese larch bonsai forest, and that will go right in the middle like that. I would also like to show off my little rose bonsai whilst it's in bloom. It looks really beautiful this time of year, and when I put up a photo of it, a lot of you guys really liked it, so this is it in a video. I'm working on this little rose now about 3 years, and I really love the vibrant red of the roses it grows. It has been a few days now since I have built this bench, and I can give you my thoughts about it when it comes to watering and stuff like that. First of all, it's a great way to admire your trees. Every morning I come out and just look at the trees, and instead of having the trees sitting at ground level where you can't really appreciate the trees, having them elevated at these heights is really nice for just looking at them and seeing the trunk line and how the trees are meant to be displayed. And also whenever it comes to watering, it makes watering so much easier. I just go along with the watering can and water the trees, and having them at about shoulder height just makes the whole process a lot easier. I don't have to sort of lean over. I also think it's really great to be able to have the space underneath here for storing the trees at winter. And also just the very first day after I built this watering can arrived. This is a Hawes watering can. I think it's 1.8 litre, and it was Nigel Saunders that recommended I get this one versus the 1 litre red watering can from Hawes. I think the nozzle comes off here at the end too, so I guess you could put whatever nozzle you want on it. Under here I have placed my little Japanese maple seedlings just to keep them out of the direct sun because they're still young and I don't want the leaves to burn. And then under this next section I have some pots, large pots, small pots, little tiny pots, and then over at this side bonsai pots. And if you're wondering why I stacked the blocks in the way that I did, it's so that I can actually have more storage space, just a little bit extra for some more bonsai pots. You can see here inside the cinder blocks, I have put various bonsai pots, and they're acting, although as if they're little tiny shelves, which I quite like. I like to make use of as much space as possible. And finally, this section here isn't really a part of the bonsai bench per se, but these boxes here are the reason as to why we cut the wood to length earlier. I did debate putting the boxes under the benches, but then I needed space to walk down the steps in this direction, so the boxes will sit here. They're also really easily accessible. Here we've got various soil types, from compost, fine grit bonsai soil mix. Here is a medium grit bonsai soil mix. This is a big box of sphagnum moss. And finally, this one is for scrap wire that I reuse. And on that, I'm going to end off this video right here. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like on this video. It really helps out the channel a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And please let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments below. Perhaps you would do it differently. Let me know what your bonsai benches look like. This is just a quick and easy way of putting together a bonsai bench, so long as you have a flat surface. And of course, this entire design is customizable. You can make it longer, shorter. You could make it a little bit narrower. If you would like to support me and the things that I do on this channel, for example, creating a bonsai bench like we have done here today, this video was made possible by everyone who donates to the channel. I put all that money towards anything that's going on in the channel. So if you would like to support me, hit the thanks button down below, and if not, that's completely fine also. I'm really grateful for you guys watching the videos. And if you would like to stay updated on all of the things that I do off camera, please follow me on Instagram. It's at Notion Bonsai, and you'll be able to see all the things that I do on there. But on that, thank you so very much for watching.